Hello everybody. I wanted to do a video as we're all stuck inside from this coronavirus. Um, I'm thinking I'm missing a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables because I'm not trying to go to the grocery store as much. And it's springtime and my yard has a lot of edible plants in it. I'm pulling back to some times I used to teach this stuff at nature camp and go to the Wild Edible Plants Festival in West Virginia. And I want to go over some of the things in my yard right now that you can eat to throw into some salad, get a little flavor, add a little vitamins and minerals and things to your diet from your yard, and don't worry about going into the store. So, disclaimer, don't trust me on this. Do your homework, read, and don't put anything in your mouth unless you know what it is and where it's been. Just use your common sense. Don't say, oh, I ate that thing because Alex showed me on the video and now I'm dead. It's not my fault. You use your judgment. I'd also recommend you get some books. Here's a couple books. These are some books I picked up. I'm going to just do a quick shout out. When I lived in Boston, my host family mom, Jane, made this for me. Jane and Millie gave me this book. It's called Foraging and Feasting, a Field Guide and Wild Food Cookbook by Diana Falcone. This was on a Kickstarter campaign back in 2014 or 15. And it's got descriptions of your plants and a lot of recipes for them. There's recipes in here, how you make soda, everything. Great book. Lots of good stuff in here. And this is one also from when I was in Boston. Ryan from BFJN, Boston Faith and Justice Network, gave me this one. Nature's Garden, Edible Wild Plants. It's very good as terms of how to identify what's what, where you're going to find it. It breaks it down by season, I believe. Okay, so find some field guides to edible plants. Let's go outside and take a look. Okay, good. We still got some sunshine. I got some potatoes growing over here. They're getting a little stringy. Put too much manure on them. Anyway, right here, very first one. Wild onions. You'll see some of this in your yard. Let's dig some of that up real quick and see what it looks like. So, yeah, dig up a big old thing of dirt here. And we'll see, yeah. So these little guys, they're very strong onion flavor, and they'll taste like garlic. Kind of like garlic. You can chop them up. They're kind of hard like garlic, but just pick that up. Add that to your salad. So let's save some of this here. Some garlic. And as you can see, I got a lot of this stuff growing all over the place. You might see it. It's time to cut the grass, but we're going to forage first. Okay, so the wild onions. Spring onions, Vidalia onions. There's stories in the Civil War that Ulysses S. Grant would have a lot of his guys eat this stuff as they find it in the field. Good stuff. Very strong onion flavor right there. Good stuff. Cool. Little worm on there for me. Extra protein. Okay, I'll come back to this later. I'll pick up my trash. All right. What else we got? Okay, here's two. These flowers, they grow everywhere in the springtime. It's called purple dead nettle. It's in the mint family, Lamiaceae, mint family. It's got a square stem. You see, it's a square. Pretty wild, solid corners there on the square stem. And when you look at it, the leaves come off of the sides of the square in opposite pairs. So there's one across from each other. They're all like in pairs next to each other. They got these little purple flowers. Man, this is a good camera. Purple flowers, kind of look like a trumpet. Now the book in there says these have a mushroom kind of flavor. I just think they taste like a leaf and there isn't much to them. But you can eat these things. So give those a try maybe. Here is the big one, dandelion. Oh, we got some dead nettle right here, purple dead nettle. Dandelion, good stuff. A secret to eating dandelion. The leaves, the teeth on the leaves, that's where it gets its name. There's teeth on it. And this thing kind of reminds you of a lion because of its lion's mane. And if you say teeth of the lion in French, dents de lion, that means teeth of the lion. That's where it gets its name from. These leaves and everything green on a dandelion is very bitter. And I'm going to warn you, it's very bitter. But if you take the yellow flower and you take off all the green sepals underneath, just the yellow, it's pretty sweet. And people can make dandelion wine out of this. I met a guy that makes dandelion syrup over there in Crooked Spur Road in Bath County, Virginia. Here's another one right here. Chickweed. Chickweed. Look this one up because there's a lot of things that look like it. chickweed kind of spreads across the ground here. Little white flowers. These haven't popped up, but that's some chickweed. They say that's edible. I kind of think it's like this dead nettle. It tastes like a leaf. All right, and we got some onions here. Yeah, no need to go to the grocery store this week. We're going good. All right. Okay, I've spotted it. I got 2 of them. You'll find these flowers alongside the road right now, and these are probably the most tasty thing to eat. These are yellow flowers. It's the wild turnip. If you ever grown turnips, it kind of looks like a turnip. This one's kind of bolted to seed, and it's still pretty soft. Turnips are in the family with mustards and broccoli and cauliflower and all that stuff. It's called the cruciferae family. Cruciferae makes you think like crucifixion. All of the flowers in cruciferae have these 4 petals. And they're usually white flowers or yellow flowers. See the 4 petals. So you can eat the flowers here. You even look here and see the how it kind of looks like broccoli florets with the little flowers budding up like that. And another characteristic is sometimes it has these leaves wrapping around. I forget the name for that, but that's characteristic of the cruciferae, the Brassicaceae. So this is a wild turnip. Very good flower. If you let the seed pods grow out, they grow in these little seed pods. Those taste pretty good too. We could pull this up and it would be a big turnip root, but you can take these off. They taste like turnip greens. Okay. Oh, here's another good one. This looks a little different than you'll see it. This is called the English plantain, and it runs these veins parallel with the outside. And if you were to pick it, if you rip it, the veins in there are really stringy. This is a very highly medicinal plant, English plantain, and there's a common plantain which has more oval-shaped leaves that are wider. And this is very good. A lot of good vitamins and minerals. A lot of medicines use this. You can, Gus used to say you could chew it up and put it on a cut and it would heal faster. It kind of has a bittery butter taste. And this stuff is pretty common. You'll probably see this in your yard. You're probably familiar with this. This one over here is one that I planted myself. It's called yarrow. Yarrow is Latin name is Achillea, like Achilles. And this stuff is, if you ever had Orajel and it makes your gums go numb for a little while, if you chew on this stuff, it can make your mouth go numb and used to be used to help dental pain go away. And so I grow this here. People use it for headaches. They dry it out and make a tea out of it if you got a headache. I just like yarrow. The flowers bulb up and they're good for the bees, so I grow this stuff around. Haven't tried making headache medicine with it, but sometimes you chew on it, makes your mouth go numb. Be careful with this stuff. It is very similar to a lot of other things that are poisonous. So just because you see a leaf that looks like a feather, it may not be yarrow. It could be something else in that family or in the carrot family. A lot of dangerous stuff in the carrot family. So I will warn you, don't touch the yarrow unless you're sure it's yarrow. Another one that's pretty common is the chicory. And I got a lot of chicory growing here by the fence. It's in the same family as dandelion, which is the sunflower family. And the chicory has leaves kind of look like dandelion. It shoots up stalks with little blue flowers. You'll see the blue flowers showing up in the summer. That's what all these stalks were, the blue flowered chicory. Chicory was historically used as a coffee substitute because it's bitter. And it's like dandelion because kind of you pull this, it kind of looks like a dandelion root. I don't think it's going to milk up with the white sap like a dandelion. No, it won't. But chicory is one you can throw that in your salad greens. So right now, just those off the top of my head are some things you can make into a salad while you're stuck at home. Oh, check this out. This is that purple dead nettle. You remember this guy? Purple dead nettle. Look at those flowers on there. Crazy. So it's in the mint family. And here's some flowers as they're still budding, a different color. So, man, this camera's amazing. Okay. Oh, this is another one. You can't eat it, but it's called Veronica. And it's one of the earlier flowers you'll see in the spring. I'm pretty sure that's Veronica. Unless it's Claytonia. Veronica. Yeah. And it's all over the place here. But, you know, between some chicory and dandelions and some wild plantain, common plantain, this can become a good salad for you right now at this time where you don't, if you don't want to go to the grocery store. Onions. Okay. Real quick, I wanted to point this one out, is the chicory that has, this is a new chicory, doesn't have the stem left over from last year, but it grows in a rosette. It kind of looks like the dandelion. It's got these teeth on some of the leaves. Some of them are a little more smooth, and the teeth are down here towards the center. But the rosette, kind of like a lettuce rosette, I guess. Chicory, lots of good stuff, nutrients in chicory, but again, very bitter, very bitter. Chicory is bitter. It's terribly bitter. But the bitter stuff's usually good for you. Here's another one. This one is not a good specimen, but it's something in the mustard family, and it tastes like a mustard. And I remember Sarah Michaels always called it a weed, and we would argue about that. But all right. Oh, and here's a wood sorrel. Oh, we are in business now. Wood sorrel. This stuff tastes like sweet tarts. No kidding, sweet tarts. Chew on this stuff. It looks like the clover, but they're more like heart-shaped leaflets. You see that? It has a yellow flower. It's called oxalis. Oxalis. O-X-A-L-A-S. Oxalis. It has oxalic acid, and it makes it taste like sweet tarts. Looks like a 3-leaf clover with more heart-shaped leaves. People have Gus called it cowgrass. It tastes like sweet tarts. It's pretty amazing. That's the first one I ever learned you could eat off the ground, is oxalis. So you usually want to let that get bigger. And a 3-leaf clover, just a regular 3-leaf clover with either a red clover, or a white flower, is edible. This is the time of the year to go foraging. I'd encourage you to do so. You'll find some good stuff out there. Look at all these dandelions. Oh man. Just the bounty nature provides when you know to look for it is incredible. All right. Okay, here I am in the front yard. I wanted to show you another one. I have this beautiful section of the yard with these violets growing. I tend to leave this growing out when I'm mowing grass. I just leave this out here. It's great. Violets are good for the bees, but there's some other good stuff here with the violets. Violets are edible. Violets have these heart-shaped leaves, kind of like this one right here. All these little leaves here are violets. These are pretty young, and it's kind of cool. Some of these violets end up with white flowers. I don't think I have any here, but you know, here's a little violets, wild violets. Pretty violet flower. All right. And among these violets, you see this white clover, 3-leaf clover right there. Man, I love this camera. 3-leaf clover. That's edible. I don't particularly like the flavor of the clover. And among all of this other stuff, here's a good example of it with these white flowers. Now, I don't know if you can see up here, but each of those has 4 petals. I think it's a little cold for it, but it's like that wild turnip. It's in the cruciferae family, the brassicas, and it's like a mustard, and it tastes like mustard. I don't know the name of this one, and I'll have to look it up. It's got these leaves like that right there on the bottom, different divided leaves like that, and white flowers, and then the seeds in the seed pods. If you go to pull weeds, when these seed pods are ready, you barely touch this plant and it shoots the seeds at you. You've probably done that pulling weeds. It's a wild mustard. And so this clover and this kind of wild mustard and these violets are edible. So I got a nice salad here in my front yard. All right, I'll pause this again. Okay, one thing to consider when foraging for plants is conservation. And just some things to think of. In many cases, when you can, just pull some leaves off. Don't pick up the whole thing unless you're going for like a dandelion root or something. And like things like that wild turnip, there's only 2 here in my yard, so I don't want to dig both of them up. They might not come back next year. So think about those things. Think about the future and leaving a share for somebody else, some other species. A lot of insects, bees, other pollinators rely on a lot of these flowers early in the spring. So don't go take all the dandelions away or all the clovers. That's important for the ecosystem, okay? Stick with the rule of 3s. At very minimum, we would teach this in nature camp in the woods, and you see more than 3, you can take 1. So that you're always leaving 3 or more behind. That's one thing to think about. And the good thing is, a lot of these things I showed you are pretty common. Dandelions, violets, chicory. It's pretty common and grows everywhere. So I'd encourage you to stick with those things, you know, that not the rare things like the wintergreen or the Virginia heartleaf, which tastes really good, but you don't want to go disrupting a lot of the roles they play in nature. And they're pretty rare and take a long time to grow. So be smart and save some for the other species and nature. You know. All right. All right, so there you have it. There's a couple wild edible plants for your yard. Maybe that'll inspire you to go learn about some naturey things and go enjoy some nature at this time. I hope you're getting the vitamins and minerals you need. Go out and get some sunshine. It's a great weather today. Take care. If you have questions about the stuff I showed here or other stuff, you can leave me stuff in the comments. But again, I want to emphasize, do your own research. Don't put anything in your mouth unless you know what it is or you know where it's been. Good advice for life. I hope you can enjoy some parts of your yard at this time. Don't eat anything that's going to hurt you, but just get out there and enjoy what nature has to offer in the spring. So many good things. Take care. Peace. Be good.